Welcome to the Disability Partnership Podcast. In this edition, Nicki travels to North Halifax to visit the Mixenden Holy Nativity Church, where she meets the Reverend Rob and Jo, the Resident Development Officer. The church is the hub for a lot of activities, as well as being a focus for support within the community. And Nicki, Jo and Rob explore the many good things going on there. Over to you, Nicki.
Hi, it's Nicki again from DPC. I'm here to record a podcast and I'm here with Rob, who's the vicar of Mixenden Holy Nativity Church.
Hello.
And with Jo, who's the development officer.
Hi.
So we're going to chat and talk about the activities you do, the sessions, how long you've been here, who you would like to see and what help we could possibly help you with.
Cool.
Yeah? So over to you, Rob, first, maybe?
I'm Rob, I'm the vicar. I've been here for 13 years. All the kids over at school call me Reverend Rob, so I often hear people shouting, Reverend Rob, down the street at me, or in Morrison's as it was yesterday. Holy Nativity Church has been here for 70 years. We had our 70th anniversary last summer. The church's history is that when the estate was built post-World War II, the Bevan dream of a proper council estate where you have a garden out front, garden out back, you can grow your own vegetables. The community wanted a church of their own, and there was no plan to build a church, so they clubbed together sixpence a brick to build this place.
Oh.
And it was opened in 1954. There was a big ceremony, and and there's still people in our congregation who remember the church being planted 70 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been a wonderful time being here for the last 13 years, and I love it.
Yeah, no, it is a lovely community. It is a lovely community. I have family what's been based up here a lot of years. So how long have you been here, Jo?
How long have I been here? I've been a part of this church community for about 9 or 10 years now. But about a year ago, I started working here full time. I was working with other churches in other areas, telling them how to do community outreach. Mm-hmm. But the dream was always to be able to do it for my own church. So here I am.
That's good.
Which is great. And he says he's got the best job in the Church of England, but I think I have.
You don't say that at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I do not say that at 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, I think that's across the board with most people.
No.
Yeah. So obviously you have the opening times of the church and you do all your activities and drop-ins. I'm looking at a notice board now. So would you like to talk me through your typical week?
A typical week. Should we talk about this last week? Because that might give you a bit of a flavour. So this last weekend just gone, we had an arts retreat. So last Friday night we had an event called Beer and Songs.
We were the pub.
For the estate for the evening.
Why did I not know that?
And we had some musicians from the local community. We had some musicians who came along who were part of the arts retreat, and they played.
Some of the youth group who played.
So they played music for anybody who wanted to come, really.
Yeah.
It was a great night. It was also my birthday, so that was fun. And then on Saturday we had an arts retreat all day, which again is open to the whole community. We had some people who we're friends with from up in the northeast who came and led the day, and we slung paint around, and people did pencil drawings, and people wrote poems and songs.
I worked on a song that I'm writing.
You worked on a song. And again, so we do those arts retreats 3-4 times a year, and the idea is to really encourage people in our community to be creative and recognise that everybody can be creative, even if they think they can't. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in this community were told at school that they couldn't draw, so they gave up. Yeah. And a lot of funding gets taken out of our education system for arts and for those things. Definitely. In communities like this more than in other communities.
When I arrived in 2012, it was the beginning of austerity, and the narrative was of the undeserving poor. And the first things that get taken out of community when everybody is deemed undeserving is, well, you don't deserve to have a mobile phone, you don't deserve to have nice food, you don't deserve to play music, you don't deserve to do art, you just deserve to have what you need to survive. And that is really frustrating. We believe in a God who wants us to flourish, to have life in all its abundance. And that does not just extend to the rich, that extends to absolutely everybody. And so we do a lot to try our best to put those things back in. So hence the youth group play music. So we were playing with the 15-year-olds on Friday night. And and putting the art back in on Saturday afternoon. Like you say, people who don't think that they're artistic but discover that they are actually quite crafty.
Yeah, and then the smiles and it's just that sense of, wow, have I done that?
Yeah.
It's just, it's fabulous. Yeah.
And we had all ages, and a lady who was in her 90s who came, a friend of hers brought her as a neighbour, and she had an absolute ball of a day, didn't she? Yeah. And young people as well. So that was our kind of weekend, really. It's been a mad weekend. So going on through the week, Mondays, every Monday in term time, and then some weeks in the holidays, we have our community cafe on a Monday. The cafe itself is pay as you can, so if someone wants to come and have a hot meal for nothing and they need to, that's absolutely fine. We don't ask any questions. Other people come and pay more than it costs. That helps us to cover those costs. So there's a hot meal available every week with a fabulous team of volunteers who cook amazing food.
During the winter, that's the warm space. During the summer, it's the cool space, as we discovered on Monday when we walked outside into the heat.
Cool space, warm space, welcome space, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
It's one of those. And there's drinks and cake and biscuits and stuff. So it's open to the adults during the day, and then we finish at 4, so a lot of the kids sometimes come over after school and join us for juice and biscuits and colouring, stuff like that. Also on a Monday, as part of that, we have a food pantry, which is available for emergency and crisis food support. We only do kind of crisis support, very basic stuff for people who really, really are in a moment of crisis. Because
is that on referral or people you know?
They can just come in and then we will help them fill out a form. Some get referred from other organisations, so the school might send somebody over, the family hub, the CAB might do that. But mostly it's people who just wander in and ask us.
Okay.
But as I say, because we've only got limited capacity to store stuff and buy stuff, we try and keep that to emergency support. But then we try and signpost people onto other sources of support elsewhere.
One of the problems is that all of the other emergency support has stopped. So all of the other areas, so we often find ourselves getting people being referred from Sorby Bridge. Not just Sorby Bridge.
No, but I know what you mean, out of the area.
Yeah. Sorby Bridge, Elland and stuff like that, and getting on a bus to come here for food support. And it's like, well, this isn't a community with massive wealth. These are people who are supporting those in need. And it's difficult when you've got the council sending people from out of area. So.
They should set up something in that area.
I think part of it is a lot of the food places have now transitioned to a kind of social supermarket way of doing things, which is great. It's much more dignified, and I actually prefer that as a model. But there are those who fall through those gaps.
Yes, definitely.
We can help them in this community because the reason we can't do that is because we don't have the space for fridges.
No, it's the storing. Yeah.
So we can just do the basics, and we're happy to do that. So that's on a Monday, and then alongside the food and the parcels, we also always have somebody here from Healthy Minds. So this little back room that we're sat in that you can't see with the comfy sofas, becomes what Healthy Minds call a safe space. Yeah. So Freya, the safe space worker, will have little one-to-ones in here with anybody who needs it, but she'll also wander around the main room, chat to people, check in with them. How are you doing with your mental health? How's your physical health? Is there anything we can do to help? So we can then signpost people on to other forms of help, or we'll say, we don't know, but you come back next week and we'll find out for you.
Yes.
Which takes me on to Tuesday, because then we have...
One of the great things is working in partnership, because the Addy over the road, they bring across a lot of their users who do the stock rotation and bagging up and things like that, so that we can actually make the food bank work. And they provided I don't know whether they provided or cooked. They provided or cooked. And cooked on Monday, all the food. So everyone was eating quiche and beans and, I want to say potatoes.
Yes.
Potatoes, quiche and beans, and it was all done by the Addy, which is over the road. Okay. So, it's not just us working in isolation. It's about making these relationships work with the Addy, the school, North Halifax Partnership, the Children's Centre and all of that. And it's really important, because if we were to try doing all of this stuff on our own, we've only got limited capacity, whereas if we work across the estate, we work better.
Where do the donations come for the food?
We get some donations from members of the community, so quite often on a Sunday morning someone will wander in with a big bag of stuff. We've got one chap who's got an allotment who quite often brings fresh fruit and veg, which can be fun and interesting sometimes. There's a lot of broad beans around the last few weeks. The majority of our food is funded through grants. So we've had a grant this year from the Asda Foundation, which has been lovely for their food bank basics. And we've had lots of support through the Community Foundation from the Household Support Fund. So that has really helped.
We also have some individuals who give week in, week out, who do specifically for that. So people who have heard about what we're doing via social media. So there are some people like down in Cornwall who will set up a standing order to support the work that we do here. But predominantly we're supported by the community. The entire funding for this is predominantly done through community members, people who come to church who want to club together to do something good for the estate.
That's fabulous.
So we are largely funded through the wages, pensions and donations of the community. This is the community came together to build this place with 6p a brick, and the community has continued to fund it for the last 70 years, for which we are incredibly grateful. This community is a place where people care so much about their neighbours that they give so generously out of what they have or what they don't have, that is an amazing thing. I'm inspired by the people who live here on a regular basis.
I find I was helping a group on Monday, and this lovely elderly lady insisted on giving a tip to the driver, and she didn't need to. And I know she didn't have 2p. She didn't afford it. And there's others who really could. But she was the one who... And that, to me, is... She went, no, I really appreciate, and it's that way, isn't it? Yeah.
Jesus told a parable about that, about a woman who gave the last coin that she had. The widow's mite gave absolutely everything that she had, and how that tiny donation was way more important in God's eyes than the thousands and thousands of pounds that you can give out of the millions you have in the bank.
Oh, totally.
Can you tell I'm a vicar?
No, it's true. It's true. My son was laughing at me. Not laughing. He said, you don't realise, Mum. He said, next door's garden looks well and she's in a home. I went, well, when I bought mine, I water hers. I've never met the lady. She's been in a home since I moved in there. But I couldn't watch them flowers die. So just little things like that. It's just, It just makes you feel good. I just think it makes you feel good. And I think volunteering, I've been a volunteer for years. And it just, some people grasp it, some people don't.
Well, we couldn't do any of what we do, especially on a Monday, without a team of volunteers, because we've got some fabulous people who cook amazing food in the kitchen, but we've also got people who come in and make up parcels and just sit and talk to people. Yeah. It's all about relationships. Some of the stories we have about people who turned up a year ago with absolutely nothing, just looking for food, and they've come back week in, week out. We've got to know them. We've built relationships with them. And because we know them, we've been able to find the right help for them. So... somebody who had just been recently rehoused into not very suitable housing about a year ago is now in their own house because we were able to help them through that process because we got to know them.
Yeah, you don't all want to be labelled.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Don't, and like you said, sometimes you've got to not be afraid to just ask for help. You've got to. Don't struggle. You've got to. It doesn't mean I can't do that. You've got to, and you just work together. Yeah.
So we're a friendly bunch.
So that was only Monday.
That was we only got as far as Monday in a typical week. I was going to say, so on Tuesday we've got some more practical support and advice most weeks. So the Citizens Advice Bureau our little friend Jackie, who sits in the back room and has meetings. You can drop in or you can make an appointment, and she talks about housing and benefits and that kind of stuff, which is how we help that chat.
So by contacting you, that's how they make appointments?
Either they contact us or, again, we talk to somebody on a Monday and go, we think that would be helpful for you. But she also, if you get in touch with the Citizens Advice Bureau and you live up here,
that's best.
Rather than dragging you all the way into Halifax,
totally makes
they'll
sense.
make an appointment for you up here. And as well as that, we're working with Gateway to Care. So if you need really practical support with health needs and access to things like a frame or accessibility adaptations in your house, you can come and talk to somebody and they will literally be able to pick up the phone and sort that out for you. Yeah. So again, you don't have to be on the phone on hold for 3 hours. You don't have to get a bus into Halifax. No. You can just come and talk to somebody. And again, you can make an appointment by ringing Gateway to Care, or you can just wander in. and talk to somebody here. So the information about when that is available is always on our website and our social media. If
Brilliant.
you want it. Or come in and grab a leaflet and have a cup of tea.
Then there's a youth group
Yeah, then there's the youth group.
run by volunteers.
Yeah.
Organised chaos.
Oh, I bet it's fab.
Organising a camping week over the summer. Take them up to North Yorkshire. Go around some National Trust sites. Maybe go on a steam train.
Or a boat trip.
Or a boat trip. Depends on the weather as to
Yes.
what happens. We have all these ideas about what we have done in the past. It's just
Yeah.
a question of what the weather does.
You can't.
Barbecue night, campfire night.
So we have a list of 25 kids starting in school year 5 and ending in school year 9.
Okay.
And on an average week, we get about 16 or 17 of them in here, running around, causing chaos. We do craft, we do all sorts. We've just finished helping paint the new basketball courts
Fabulous.
down on Mixenden Abbey. So that's a project they got involved in. There's all sorts of stuff goes on with you.
There's not enough youth clubs. I used to love my youth club. There's just not enough.
No.
No, there isn't at all.
And it's having capacity. You can only take so many kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be safe as well.
And again, totally reliant upon volunteers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we work with the group we do because that's the age range when they're moving from primary to secondary school, and quite often a lot of the kids in this area can fall between the cracks and disappear because primary school is a very nurturing and loving environment, and then they have to get on a bus and disappear around
Scary.
the whole of Coaldale.
And it's scary.
So we bring them together and make sure that they've got a base and can think about how to be better in the community and be part of the community.
Yeah.
We invite the fire brigade along to talk to them. We invite the local police along to talk to them. We've had the MP.
The bishop.
They've had dinner with the bishop. We have pizza with the bishop. It's just about making them feel part of a wider community and part of something bigger. So that's...
And try to provide opportunities to do other things, like head down and do 10-pin bowling or climbing walls or...
Oh, yes, yeah.
We went on a trip to
summer.
York Minster, didn't we? To see
We
the light
did. We went to
display.
York Minster for... If it was in France, it'd be called a Sonny Lumiere. I don't know what they called it. Loads of light projection all over the inside of York Minster with birds flying around and music and all sorts of
That was great.
stuff
Stunning.
that I can only imagine how they make that happen.
So having talked about youth group, we also do the toddler group every Thursday morning, which is for the really littlies. So they come with their parents and grandparents and carers and mums and dads and everybody. And they have juice and a snack and they sing songs and they run around, and we have climbing frames and trikes and little toys for the littlies, and it's noisy and chaotic every Thursday morning. And again, volunteers all running it. And we work in partnership with the family hub next door. Who,
Okay.
Which is part of North Halifax Partnership.
No, yeah.
So they send people over as well. So again, if parents need additional support or need to talk to anybody about anything they're struggling with, there's somebody here who can help them and signpost them to the help that they need. Because we're available as a space for other organisations to use as
Okay.
well. Part of the way we generate a little bit of extra income is letting out the space. So you can book us for things. So for the last 5 weeks, we've had a parent support group teaching BSL to parents and carers.
Yeah.
In the hall every, what was it, Tuesdays or Wednesdays? I can't remember. I think it
But was that
Wednesdays.
popular? Because it's something
It
I've
was
been
really
asked for
well
a lot.
attended.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really, really
something
well
I need to
attended.
learn more.
So that's not one of our events, but that's
No,
an
but
event
yeah.
that was taking place in our building, and we're happy to host stuff like that. We've also quite recently had some sessions from Visits Unlimited, who
Oh, yeah, okay.
gather people with different disabilities and stuff together to meet and to have lunch together and
Yeah.
to share and talk with each other. So they come in quite often
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, we do have, so on a normal week, we've talked about all the things that regularly happen, but we also have occasional visitors who come in and do sessions.
But no, thank you. Thanks for inviting
You're
me.
welcome.
Thanks for letting me pop along.